initiate something and take advantage of the crampedness, you can say, of black position. And what is your plan after developing? What will be your plan?
Attacking on the king side.
I mean, you need a plan after the opening, yes? It's not so easy to find a good place for the king. If you want to stop b5, you will play a4, and then you don't like to castle long, and so it's a problem. If we want an idea in any opening what to do next when we are not familiar with the, let's say, with the theory, updated theory, what do? We have a position. What do we do in order to find the plan?
Looking for weak spots.
Very good. First of all, not only weak spots, but first of all, we make a report for ourselves what is going on in the position. Where do the elements of the position, what do I mean by this abstract word, the elements? Strategical or tactical elements, for example, an open file. So if black sees an open file E, half open, then he will put a rook on E8, for example. He will try to put pressure on this file, yes? So white also has to find the plan. What does he see? What does he see in the Benoni, in all lines of Benoni? What does he see?
The weak pawn on D.
On D6. The weak pawn on D6 is in 70–80% of Benoni games is the target of white. So how to put pressure on the pawn on D6, not to play F3, but to play knight F3, to put the bishop on F4, to put, and he will have to protect it, let's say by this, yes, the knight D2 and knight C4. This is the kind of basic plan in the Benoni, and put a big pressure on the weakness of black. This has more chances to work, to succeed, than a wild attack on the, very speculative attack on the king side. Yeah. What is this prophylactic thinking? The prophylactic thinking is to play with always an eye open on what he wants, my opponent, and try to find such moves that while they are playing my plan, also try a little bit to frustrate the plan against potential threats of the opponent, or his general plan, against his general plan, like playing prophylactic move. A4 is a prophylactic move against his general idea to play B5. This structure is even you are preventing your own plan by playing moves like F3, Bishop E3. It's against the plan, the big plan of attacking D6, for example, which is, this D6 is the son of sorrow. We have to prove it's really suffer to have such a pawn. Yeah, this is, and sometimes you have to make this switch in the brain to play out of the box moves. Yes, because bishop belongs to G7, but sometimes you have to transfer it to some strange position in order to fit with your plan.
Okay, how do you do this yourself?
Myself?
Yeah, how do you do to see this?
I compose endgame studies, and I solve endgame studies, and that helps me to develop my out-of-the-box thinking, because there are very paradoxical ideas. That's how I do it. But some players, they simply solve a lot of tactics from the grades. There are books of quizzes of tactics, and that's how they also get unusual ideas. Because creativity in chess is actually expressed in the moment when we have to find unusual solutions to either usual or unusual situations. Yeah? Here, the problem of the knight on G4 that we'll have to retreat next move may be partly solved by this creative move Bishop H6 that prepares a nice square E5 for the knight, which is a nice idea. Knight on F6.
Yes, that was the low idea. So when he changed his bishop for the knight, my knight would be, this knight would go to F6, and it would still make the conditions for him to take on E4.
So your calculation here missed another candidate move, a
Yes.
very serious candidate move.
Yes, that's true.
Because you have to look for knight c6 because it's a very natural move. You won a pawn, but you have, if in all gambits, there are many gambits as you know, but in all gambits you have to see a possibility when you give back the pawn even with a very comfortable position. That's already you did your job as black. If you give back the pawn with, and you have a nice position, what's wrong with that? And you want to stick to this pawn now. That is why. No, that's we are trying to see why you didn't take into consideration the knight c6 move, because you wanted to keep this pawn as long as possible. The strong players always think, what does my opponent want first, and then what does he want? Yeah, and tries to find the golden path between the two with prophylactic moves that serves his plan, but at the same time does something to frustrate the opponent's plan. What would save you time is that every move you ask yourself, what does this move contribute to one of the three principles? Mobilization of the pieces, mobility of the pieces, safety of the kings, either your or opponent, either to improve the safety of your king or shake the safety of your opponent king, or what does the move does for my pawn structure, health of my pawn structure, or to diminish the pawn structure of your opponent. These three factors should be next to you, in front of your eyes, in any move that you play in chess actually.
Could you first ask what your opponent wants?
Yes. First, always ask yourself what does he want before you start thinking about what you want. That is the sign of maturity in chess and in life in general. Because children always want to do what they want first, yeah? No matter what the other want. But a mature player or adult thinks differently. No free meals, yeah? Only move king g2. You see that? Otherwise, the bishop gets away with check, with discovered check. So king g2. And now you already know what white wants here. White wants to complete the siege on this bishop by rook h1. And my next 3 points question is how black deals with this threat.
One question is that
You want to catch up, huh? So after f here, black could not afford that, white could not afford that black will take on g3 with opening the rook, because it's horrible. So he took here. And by doing that, he made room for the king to run away when needed. But even that, black saw in advance. And now you have to find the game till the end of it. How went the game till the end, which is very near, like in the song of Frank Sinatra. The end is near, yeah, my way. You know this this song? So tell me, please, what are the rest of the moves in this game? The remaining moves of the game, which I have only one square to go, and now you want to take. Okay, I have another question. What happens if I am going away?
Wait, did you two moves now?
No, check, I went to d4. Or d2, or but d4, let's say d4. Even d2 I don't see, and then king c2. Nothing is forced here. Huh?
Oh, okay.
We cannot force any win here after we gave away 2 pieces. Yeah? Probably the king is going away the other side. So this check would not give Najdorf eternity. What gave him eternity is also the cooperation of his opponent. What did you say?
Loop G4.
You two. Coalition at last, yeah?
Half five.
H5. Okay. You?
Loop G4 ook.
Lopen G4.
H5 there is a strong threat, but I am on my way to America. I look for refuge on the other side of the board, on the queen side. And you cannot force anything. You can have some illusions here, but no force. But if you want to force matters, then there is only one move, which is bishop g4. Loper g4 forces. Learn to think forcing. After you sacrifice two pieces and two nice pawns, sacrifice e5 and f4. Don't spoil the party. Because now even white was prepared to be part of history. Because he could go to e3, lose his queen, and play a long game and spoil the whole beauty. But he now decided to be a gentleman, and instead of agony, long and misery, long agony and misery, he decided to be part of the history and to be part of this beautiful combination. Instead of losing the queen, he let his opponent finish the work in grand style.
Dat had ik niet gezien. Dat was het einde.
But he promised that the h-pawn will mate, and he kept the promise.